The Indian cricket team is scheduled to depart for England for the ICC Champions Trophy, despite the cowardly attack in Manchester, which killed 22 innocents and left 59 people injured. Well, Indian captain Virat Kohli is just gearing up for a press conference, pre-departure press conference for this multinational tournament. These are the visuals that we are getting you from the press conference any moment now. Captain Virat Kohli is going to address the media about the preparations and the expectations of Indian team for this trophy. All right, everybody in the cricketing world, not only in India and Pakistan, but as everywhere else as well, are waiting for the much touted India-Pakistan cricket clash at Edgbaston in England. This would be, remember, the sporting ties between both the nations are on a suspension mode, and this will be a neutral venue where India and Pakistan are going to play.
Champions Trophy. Raise your hand and upon my cue, please. Yes, sir.
One of the things that's come from a lot of players, not just the ones who play for India, is that the IPL with T20 cricket is still pretty good preparation for the Champions Trophy. A lot of players have said that. In what ways do T20 cricket exactly equip you for the challenges of 50-over cricket as well?
I don't think you can have too much similarity in both formats, but I think from getting some game time from that point of view, I think it helps a lot of people to stay in the zone of being match ready, to say the least. It's different for different people. Some people cannot connect the two formats at all. Some people take bits and pieces and put it into place in all three formats. So as I said, just being match fit, just having the rhythm of bowling, the flow of batting, just the mental setup of scoring runs, of being in tough situations, is something that you can carry forward to all the formats. And IPL, being a high competitive tournament, allows you to be in that zone, play against the world-class players from all the teams. And so I think it could be the most competitive sort of games that you could be a part of before something like Champions Trophy.
What are the challenges of defending the title? India has not defended the world title at all. So as defending champions, how tough is it? What are the challenges?
I think the first challenge is not to think about the fact that we are defending the title. When we went there the last time, we just wanted to enjoy ourselves as a young unit, and then we ended up winning the tournament, and we ended up creating a team which has done so well so far. But from that team as well, there have been a few changes made, from that team as well. So right now, I think, again, our mindset is very similar, to go out there and enjoy our cricket, which we have done in the past couple of years. And in Test cricket, we have been able to reach the top with that mindset, having the hunger to win, and we want to take it across all formats. And ruthlessness is something that we definitely speak about all the time. Even if we close series off, we want to win it, without losing a game, or maybe drawing a game as well, if possible. So yeah, we go in with that kind of mindset, and I think that goes a long way in a tournament like this. If you can think about the games in that manner, I think you'll get the results you want more often than not.
मौजूदा जो हालात में देखने मिल रहे हैं इंडिया और पाकिस्तान के बीच में, चैंपियंस ट्रॉफी में एक मैच होना है इंडिया और पाकिस्तान के बीच में, क्या आपको लगता है कि इंडिया को पाकिस्तान के साथ मैच खेलना चाहिए, या आपको लगता है कि खेल में जगह बन सकता है रिश्ते चुकाने के लिए तनाव बन सकता है?
आपको क्या लगता है?
आपका क्या कहना चाहते हैं इसका जानना है?
नहीं, आप तो अपनी राय बना के आए हैं, मुझे लग रहा है.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Amul.
Title difference aside, when it comes to Champions Trophy, does the team put it in as high state as the World Cup? How do you approach a tournament like that?
I think because the tournament is much shorter and you got the top 8 teams in the world, I think the competitiveness of the tournament is much higher from the word go. In a World Cup, you can still have league games and you have yourself to, get into the World Cup and then maybe dominate in the later half. But in Champions Trophy, you need to be on top of your game from game one. If you're not, then your chances go down pretty soon. So I think that's the biggest challenge in Champions Trophy, and something that all the players love playing for sure, because it's so competitive and all the fans love watching it. It's an ICC event, so it's going to get a lot of eyeballs. But in general, for the players, that's the feedback we get. That we have to be on top of our game no matter what, from ball one of the first game.
Thank you, sir. Virat, आपकी टीम में युवराज भी हैं, धोनी भी हैं, काफी एक्सपीरियंस है इनको। पाकिस्तान के साथ मैच होना है, इसके अलावा दूसरे मैच नहीं हैं। इन दो प्लेयर्स की कैसे उनको यूज करना है पूरे टूर्नामेंट में, खासतौर पे पाकिस्तान जैसी टीम में आपके लिए चैलेंज रहेगा या किस तरीके से देखेंगे?
देखिए, वो जिस तरीके के प्लेयर्स हैं दोनों, उनको आई डोंट थिंक कि मैं किसी तरीके से यूज़ कर सकता हूँ उनके उनके पास इतना एक्सपीरियंस है कि अगर उनको फ्रीडम दिया जाए कि आप अपनी गेम खेलें मिडिल ऑर्डर में, तो आई एम श्योर कि उनको टीम में सबसे ज़्यादा पता है ऑब्वियसली कि कैसे मैच बिल्ड करना है, कैसे जिताना है या डिफ़िकल्ट सिचुएशन से कैसे निकालना है। तो जो अच्छी बात देखने को मिली लास्ट सीरीज़ में भी कि दोनों खुल के खेल रहे थे और इन्जॉय कर रहे थे एक दूसरे के साथ बैटिंग करना, जो पहले उन्होंने किया है विदाउट हैविंग दैट बर्डन इनिशियली। तो वो चीज़ बहुत अच्छी लगी एक देख के कि जब आपके इतने बड़े प्लेयर दोनों ऐसे खुले माइंडसेट से खेल रहे हों तो टीम का कॉन्फिडेंस एक अलग हो जाता है। जो आपके ऊपर के प्लेयर्स हैं वो भी मोर कॉन्फिडेंट खेलते हैं और आई थिंक ओवरऑल वो टीम के लिए बहुत अच्छा था। टीम एनवायरनमेंट भी चेंज रूम में उससे बहुत ज़्यादा बूस्ट हुआ, क्योंकि ऐसे दो प्लेयर अगर अच्छे माइंडसेट में हो तो टीम का आउटलुक ही अलग हो जाता है। तो आई थिंक वो हमारे सबसे स्ट्रॉन्गेस्ट दो पिलर मैं मानूंगा टीम में, और वो जितने अच्छे माइंडसेट में रहेंगे टीम को उतना ही बेनिफिट होगा।
थैंक यू।
Do you have a mic? Sorry. Yeah, just 1 minute. Sorry.
Yeah, looking at the format and the conditions, what is it from the last campaign would you like to maintain in this format, in this?
See, the last Champions Trophy, the two things that I felt were takeaways for us was the opening partnership. The revelation of Rohit and Shikhar as an opening opening pair was something that, it was a very great thing to see for all Indian fans and for the Indian cricket team as well. So I think that was a massive factor in us winning the Champions Trophy. Plus, Ash and Jadeja were on top of their game anyway, but the way the fast bowlers bowled and the way we fielded, I think we were the best fielding side in the tournament back then. So these three things we identified back then as well. So we would like to stick to the same strengths, and we believe that these are the three factors which really determine how you play in conditions such as England, and how far you can go in a tournament like Champions Trophy. So I felt these three were our strongest factors in the last championship.
Thank you, sir. Sir.
Considering what happened in 2014 with your batting form, do you view this tournament as something of a redemption kind of tournament for you?
Not really. I mean, for me, it's I feel that you improve as a cricketer every series that you play. Sometimes not in our own heads, but the atmosphere around us is built in a way that becomes like a life or death kind of series, and especially for subcontinent cricketers, which I don't understand why. If players don't do well in India and they go back, there's no real hype around it. But if we don't do well away from India, it's it's like a knife hanging on your neck. So I don't believe in those things. I would never play for redemption. My only motivation is to keep winning games for my country, and it doesn't matter the conditions I'm playing at. It might be, in subcontinent, it might be England, Australia, South Africa. The aim always is to win games, and I'm willing to do whatever I can in my abilities to be able to achieve that for the team. So people might look at it as, redemption opportunity or stuff like that, but in my head, I don't think of those things at all. For me, it's a game of cricket played anywhere in the world.
Thank you, sir.
Virat, this is Dinesh.
Sir, please. Sriram.
Last time IPL that happened, you didn't do this. You talked about how frustrated you got on screen this match, but you learned those patience. You're not going to team as a team. This time, this IPL not have such a high on the home series. Is that really hurting you or on those?
But you just sort of forget it. Personally, as a captain, what do you any kuch hai kya?
Yeah, I mean, after the kind of season we've had, when you have a tournament like that, it teaches you at a lot of it teaches you about yourself as a person at a few levels. So I think from the mindset point of view, it made me realize that you can't possibly do everything in every game. And sometimes people might start looking at you like that, but as a human being, you need to understand your limitations as well sometimes, and you need to take a backward step. Sometimes, you know, it was so bizarre, everything we tried was just going against us. I've never experienced that in a side, you know. All not 11, all 15 guys in the squad was in the same mindset. I've never seen that happen. So it was quite bizarre. Maybe it was to teach me that, you know, you need to balance things out and take a backward step in how much you can do on the field, in how much intensity you can play with, maybe choose your phases. And, you know, as I keep getting older, I think those things need to be a learning as well, because you don't want to burn out too quickly as well. So, yeah, those were the biggest learnings for me. I was pretty fortunate that, you know, I got to experience that kind of a time, and it teaches you a lot as a captain. It teaches you a lot composure-wise, and you take away a lot from failures, and that's something that I've always cherished.
Last one, message.
From the outside, this Indo-Pakistan game is always looked upon as the mother of all battles. Inevitably, there's always something that goes around diplomatically on the borders across. So do the players keep that tension away when you take the field, or how do you approach it? How is the team approaching it right now?
See, with all due respect, I mean, whatever else is going on, you know, around an issue, you can't even think of, as a cricketer, you can't even think of your partner at the non-striker's end when you're facing a ball. So forget thinking about, you know, things that are not in any way in your control. For us as cricketers, it's about playing the game that we love. That feeling never changes. Yes, India-Pakistan game is always, you know, exciting game for all the fans watching, and people in general. The atmosphere in the stadium is different. It's different from any other game. But for us as cricketers, as I mentioned, and you can ask anyone from either of the teams, that it's just a game of cricket. The hype created around it is not in our control. We prepare the same way for every game. The atmosphere around the ground is different, yes, but in our heads, nothing really changes. Whether you're playing Pakistan, Australia, England, South Africa, New Zealand, it's exactly the same for us. नहीं सर, कोई बात करने की ज़रूरत नहीं होती. ऐसा नहीं कि हम पहली बार मैच खेल रहे हैं उनसे, तो हर बार यही सवाल आता है और हर बार यही जवाब होता है कि ऐसा कुछ अलग स्पेशल नहीं प्लान किया जाता है, और ऐसे कोई अलग स्ट्रैटेजीज नहीं बनाई जाती हैं, और कुछ अलग मोटिवेशन देने की ज़रूरत ही नहीं है. क्योंकि अगर आप इंडिया के लिए खेल रहे हैं तो आई डोंट थिंक कि एक टीम के अगेंस्ट आपको ज़्यादा मोटिवेटेड होने की ज़रूरत है. येस, यू नीड टू हैव पैशन, बट यू कांट बी टू इमोशनल अगेंस्ट वन साइड. So I feel that you have to play with the same kind of passion regardless of who you're playing against.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Captain Indian cricket team speaking to the media for his pre-departure press conference, expressing confidence in his team, and also saying that India has a good chance. It is a highly competitive series, but India does have a very good chance to go through and win this one. Remember, India is going to play in this 8-Nation Champions Trophy, which is going to start in England, and all eyes would be on India-Pakistan match in Edgbaston, where both these traditional rivals are going to come face to face after a very long gap. The Indian team is going to depart for England for the ICC Champions Trophy, despite the cowardly attack in Manchester. The BCCI has in fact sent a security advisor as well for this. Let's listen in to Virat Kohli once again.
Raise your hand and upon my...
Okay, before we do that, we'll play that BCCI statement for security arrangements in England.
BCCI ICC के बराबर टच में हैं, पूरा ख्याल रखा जा रहा है, पूरे मैटर को क्लोजली वॉच किया जा रहा है. नीरज कुमार जी आज रात को जा रहे हैं यूके, और वो रेगुलर टच में हैं, और BCCI पूरा कंसर्न है.
The BCCI has sent out a message raising its concerns about the security of the Indian team, travel as well as accommodation and the playing. And thankfully the ICC has responded to it. Within 2 hours, they've been sensitized about our concerns. Well, it's obviously in these attacks, being in the nature of being terrorist attacks, this is something which can affect any individual on the planet. and therefore the security concerns are that much more intense.
All right, let me now go across to my colleague Rahul Rawat, who is joining me from the newsroom for more on this. Rahul, you know, if I can come to you and ask you about the security arrangements that the BCCI is trying to ensure, and also Virat Kohli, looked confident, spoke with a lot of confidence. How easy or difficult is this tournament going to be?
Well, absolutely, Ankit. He seemed very, very focused and confident. As far as the security is concerned, the ICC is taking care of it. BCCI did raise its concerns over the security issue after the Manchester attack day before yesterday, but and ICC is reviewing that security over in England for the next 20 days. But yes, Virat, as you said, seemed very confident and focused. He didn't have a very good IPL season. Their team also didn't do well, and he said it very, very clearly that one of the journalists did ask him that it was, are you looking at as a redemption or something? He said it very clearly that it's not about redemption. He plays for India, and that is what matters to him. As for India-Pakistan, also, that's the big game. The first match that India will play will be against Pakistan on 4th of June at Edgbaston.
Rahul, stay on with me. Stay on with me. We are also being joined by Rasesh, who was at this press conference with Virat Kohli. Rasesh, the kind of interaction that we saw Virat Kohli having with the media, he sounded extremely confident as far as the prospects of the Indian team is concerned. Any particular mention of India-Pakistan clash?
Yes, there was. On a specific question that we asked him about the fact that perennially there is always some activity that goes around on a diplomatic level, at the border level. Does that tension spill over? And Virat went around saying that this is something that the team tries to not sort of put too much time on. They look at it at any other game, and that is the manner in which their team prepares. So he spoke about the intensity that an Indo-Pak game entails, but he did say that if they want to win, then the key is not to get too emotional about any particular game.
Rasesh, also tell us about any concern as far as the Indian team is, about security post this terror attack in Manchester.
Oh, there is going to be enhanced security. In fact, we've already reported to our viewers the fact that the BCCI wrote to the ICC in the immediate aftermath of the Manchester attacks, and the ICC has reverted, speaking about robust security arrangements. And the security unit chief of the BCCI, Mr. Neeraj Kumar, is already in UK overseeing arrangements, and he's been providing constant feedback to the BCCI officials, and that is then communicated to the team manager. So the BCCI, the Indian Cricket Board, taking as much precaution as they can to ensure the last thing that you want is the players to be concerned about their security when they're going into an intense tournament like this one. So all arrangements being taken care of, and as we know, as far as these activities go, events are targeted, and in that context, in the aftermath of the attacks, the Champions Trophy is something that the authorities would be taking extra precaution, because it's effectively a mini World Cup where all the best cricket playing countries are playing.
Rahul, if I can come to you on that, just take us through about how the Indian team has prepared for this Champions Trophy. The IPL just concluded recently, and also about how the journey is going to be. Which are the big teams that India is going to face?
Well, just to recall, India have had a very, very long home season where they've played almost 13 test matches in a year. So not too much of one-day cricket, but after that they did play the IPL. A lot of the batsmen who were part of this Indian team were not in very good form in the IPL, but bowlers definitely were. Like, for example, your Jasprit Bumrah, Umesh Yadav, everybody seemed, Bhuvneshwar Kumar, he was the highest wicket taker in the IPL. The conditions will also suit them. The kind of bowling that, Bhuvneshwar has, he relies a lot on swing. And besides that, the first game that India plays would be against Pakistan on 4th of June at Edgbaston. Thereafter, India head to Kennington Oval in London, where they play Sri Lanka, and again after that South Africa. So 2 matches, a team will have to win 2 matches to go through to the semi-finals, but you never know the kind of probably this Indian team looks very, very good on paper, but still we'll have to see. They are short of ODI matches, practice. Maybe. But
Rasesh, if I can ask you, who is India's biggest threat? Which other team is, in sublime form? Of course, all the teams are going to put in their best, but England is one team that people are talking about. Which other team should India be wary of?
Well, England, you're right, Ankit, because they are not just a home team. The fact that they've got seamers who can do well in those sort of conditions. Also, a team like South Africa, perhaps, which is remember in India's group as well. They've got the people to deal with the conditions. I think the key for India to do well would be to get acclimatized to the conditions. They're switching from IPL cricket and 1.5 months of T20 format to one-day cricket. So the bowlers need to surge the right line. They've been focusing on those Yorkers and slower bowls. Suddenly, you need to buy batsmen out there, and the same adjustment that the batsmen need to make. Teams like Sri Lanka or teams like South Africa have been in England for the past couple of weeks. India would only go a few days lead up to the tournament. So I think that is something that the team is aware of, is the key. The sooner they get acclimatized to the conditions, the better chance they have of defending the trophy. Just another takeaway from the press conference,
yes.
Ankit, Virat spoke about MS Dhoni and Yuvraj Singh being the pillars of this team. And so I think that is a very strong statement coming in from Virat, considering that only recently has Dhoni relinquished captaincy and playing without the burdens of captaincy. And Yuvraj called back to the Indian team only in the previous series.
Let me just quickly take it forward and also get Rahul on this. Rahul, Yuvraj Singh, Mahendra Singh Dhoni, of course, the Indian team has been one of the most successful team under the captaincy of Mahendra Singh Dhoni. How important would these players be in the mix for Virat Kohli and the experience that both of these players bring onto the table?
Well, as Rasesh just pointed out, Virat has made it very clear that these 2 players are pillars of this Indian team. Not only they are bad with their batting skills, but India would also rely on their guidance, because they've been part of some big India-Pakistan matches. They've played the World Cups, they won the Champions Trophy, won the World Cups. So of course they will be very important. They'll be very vital cogs in this. If India has to succeed, they'll be very important, 2 very important players.